Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor. I'm your Indianapolis Colts brand ambassador. I'm a Colts fan, born and raised Colts fan. Grew up watching all the greats, including Peyton Manning on the Indianapolis Colts. Love the team, love the franchise. So I thought I'd take them over here on the FTFN network. Been studying the team intensely for years. Now I'm diving in, becoming the brand ambassador for the Indianapolis Colts. Today I want to talk about Jonathan Taylor, Marlon Mack, and what to expect out of Jonathan Taylor and Marlon Mack going into week one. A lot of people are excited about Jonathan Taylor, especially in fantasy football leagues, because as you know, I'm the fantasy football counselor. If you guys are watching this just to come in for Colts content, I am the fantasy football counselor. If you're on the fantasy football counselor podcast, obviously you know it's me. But again, I'm taking on this other hat here. Literally today I'm wearing a Raiders hat, but that's besides the fact. But listen, I'm taking on this hat as a Colts ambassador because I really am passionate about the team. Now, am I passionate about the team to win, or am I passionate more about my fantasy players? Now, typically I'll say my fantasy players, obviously, but we're talking fantasy today a little bit. We're talking about Jonathan Taylor, Marlon Mack, how this is going to fizzle out, and Jonathan Taylor expectations. So I'm beyond excited to get into this episode. Of course, make sure you guys are following FTFN Network. Bookmark the site, FTFNnetwork.com, and follow on YouTube right here below. Guys, I'm beyond excited. The season is here tomorrow, and I really want to talk about this Marlon Mack, Jonathan Taylor situation and the Jonathan Taylor impact moving forward and the expectations, okay? So let's talk about this here. Now, I got to give you guys an analogy here, and I was talking about this on my last show here. Now, here's an analogy for you. If, let's just say you're dating a girl. Here's a perfect example, okay? You're dating a girl. It's your girlfriend. You've been dating her for, let's say, 3 years. Marlon Mack's been on the Colts for about 3 years, okay? And, you've been dating this girl, and she comes up to you and says, hey, man, I'm just going to go out with this other dude, and he's going to come in, and we're just going to do some timeshare. Yeah, I mean, no, don't take it personally. You're still my man. I'm just going to bring this other guy in. I just met him at the mall the other day. I'm going to bring him in. No. We're just going to go out on dates. No, shh. You don't say nothing. We're going to go on dates. And hey, listen, the hot hand will prevail. If I'm dating this chick, I'll be like, screw you, man. That's wrong, right? You just can't do that. I'm your man, right? I'm your man. What are you doing here, right? And you got a situation with Marlon Mack. Years to wow us, we're not wow. Now you can make a debate. You can say in 2019, well, Joe, he had 1,091 yards on the ground, 8 touchdowns on 241 rushing attempts. Joe, he's good. Yeah, I don't know about that. When I look over here at the stats here with Jonathan Taylor, I'm seeing a really good college workhorse with 320 attempts, 2,003 yards, 21 rushing touchdowns last season, 26 receptions on 252 receiving yards. The year before, 307 attempts, 1,294 rushing yards, 16 touchdowns. The year before, 1,977 rushing yards. This guy was an absolute beast and a monster in college when I'm talking Jonathan Taylor. So in comes now Jonathan Taylor, and you're expecting me to believe that Marlon Mack's the guy. Frank Wright and all these guys saying it's a hot hand, but Marlon Mack's our guy. I call BS on that. I call BS, and if anyone's drinking the Kool-Aid, just keep drinking it and keep buying the BS, because I'm not buying it. Because you heard Bruce Arians say it with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Ronald Jones our guy. You bring in Shady McCoy and Adrian Peterson, you're full of ass BS, man. Come on. Who are you trying to fool here? You're trying to fool your starting running backs, guys? Come on. Nobody's that stupid. I mean, and then you hear Bruce Arians after the fact say, well, Fournette's picking up the playbook well. You think you were going to work him in a little bit more? Yeah. You're going to bring out Ronald Jones for one play. He's going to run for 2 yards, and then it's Fournette after that. Maybe I'm over-exaggerating, but that's pretty much what you're getting here. So I'm not buying the BS here with Marlon Mack and Jonathan Taylor. I'm really not. If anything, I see Marlon Mack being a change of pace, maybe a third down back. I think they're a little more comfortable with him receiving the ball maybe at the beginning. Maybe he gets a little more receptions. I think Jonathan Taylor is pretty capable of catching the ball. Not really known to be a ball catching guy. Maybe we could have ourselves another Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb type of situation, possibly, where if you look at the 6 to 8 games that they played together last year, Kareem Hunt actually outscored Nick Chubb 6 out of those 8 games. So when you are looking at this from a fantasy perspective, everybody I told to draft Jonathan Taylor, I said, go ahead and do it. Make sure it's part of a robust RB strategy. So I look at the situation. I don't feel warm and fuzzy about either, both off the beginning, maybe in week one. But as we progress through the season, the hot hand will be Jonathan Taylor, because Marlon Mack, guys, sorry to say, he sucks. He's just really not that good. And if he was that good, they wouldn't have brought in Jonathan Taylor. Now, you're seeing this happen a lot with a lot of teams. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, right? I don't think they really believe in Aaron Jones that much. He had a pinnacle year last year, only finished 1 out of the 3 seasons that he's played. And I just don't believe that the Packers believe in Aaron Jones. If they did, they wouldn't have acquired A.J. Dillon. And this goes on with other teams, and it continues on. Joshua Kelly was brought in, who I like as a fantasy football sleeper. I really do like him. I think he's going to get a lot of work because Melvin Gordon's gone, so there's a lot of void, especially near the goal line. So I'm just not fully sold that the Colts are sold on Jonathan Taylor being the guy, hence why they brought in, Jonathan Taylor. So, is Mack being the guy, so they brought in Jonathan Taylor. So Marlon Mack, again, I think they're trying to fizzle him out, and maybe he's going to play harder. He was doing well in camp. Reports say he was doing really good. Again, am I sold? No. Now, the big question is, if you are a fantasy guy, I know you're tuning in for Colts information here. If you are a fantasy guy, do you start Jonathan Taylor this week? What do you do? I'm going to say, if you don't have a better option, a guy that's, I say more of a workhorse, then, why wouldn't you even at least flex him? I don't know whether the hot hand will prevail in the first quarter, the second half, or even prevail at all in game one. But I'm telling you, I think overall the hot hand will prevail, because it's just like anything, right? You're going to try this, you're going to try that. Let's say you're sampling a food. You're going to sample that food. That tastes okay. You're going to sample another food. You're going to go with the food that you like. At the end of the day, you're going to push the other one off. Same type of thing, right? So anybody believing and drinking the Kool-Aid, Marlon Mack's going to be the guy throughout the season, it's just not going to happen. I hate when coaches say that, and I know it's out of a respect thing, but it's BS, and I just want people to be real. Why don't you come out and just say, hey, man, just be real. We brought in Jonathan Taylor because, frankly, Marlon Mack, you suck. But we got to be politically correct and tell everybody that you're the starter just to appease you, but we're going to lie to you. I'd rather just somebody tell me straight up. So going back to the dating analogy here, I'm elaborating on this. I'd rather have the girl say, hey, man, Joe, you know what? We just got to go our own ways, okay? I don't like this whole, I got to hang on to one branch, and then once this branch is solidified, I can let go of this branch and move on. And it happens a lot in relationships, and it happens a lot, obviously, in NFL football here, because, again, I'm seeing this a lot with these committees, and I kind of feel bad for Marlon Mack. But again, you've had 3 years to do it, and you haven't really done it. Obviously, injuries played a factor for Marlon Mack throughout the years. Playing 14 games last year, 12 the year before, and 14 the year in 2017. So he's had some injuries, not playing the full games and stuff like that. I think 2017 he didn't really start any games at all, really, right? So, you only have 2 years to kind of really go off of him, and out of those ones, he started 24 games out of 2 years. So, again, Marlon Mack, I kind of feel for you, but I think Jonathan Taylor, at the end of the day, when you do the math and the chips fall, it'll be Jonathan Taylor as the hot hand. And again, I could be wrong. Marlon Mack could come in, tear it up, and look like the second coming of, I don't know, man. It's Christian McCaffrey or Zeke Elliott or something like that. But I'm not sold. Years to wow me, I'm mumbling my own words. Years to wow me, Mac. And guess what? I'm not wowed. So you got a lot to prove. I'm excited. Colts, great O-line. Excited to see Michael Pittman, Phillip Rivers, T.Y. Hilton. Excited to watch his whole entire offense gel. Indianapolis Colts breakdown of Jonathan Taylor right here for you guys. Of course, make sure you guys smash thumbs up and follow Fan to Fan Network right here below at FTFN on YouTube. We do virtual tailgates every Sunday at 11 a.m. But again, going back to this, man, this is tough. I got to go Jonathan Taylor. And again, why? Dude, he was a workhorse in college. How can I pass up on a guy? And he was drafted with high draft capital by the Colts. All of these reasons, it's like sign after sign pointing to Taylor being the guy. Again, the only knock I have to him is that they have pass catching running backs, and they could possibly come in and, get involved in that passing game. Other than that, man, give me Jonathan Taylor every day of the week. And the first week is going to give you a real good telling tale. So watch the game. Put the game on. Watch it. Watch the first drive. Analyze both those guys, and you guys make the decision. You guys say, okay, I like Taylor, I like Mack, and then you guys, we have social media now. Tag the Colts and say, hey, I like Marlon Mack, I like Jonathan Taylor. Sit Marlon Mack, start Jonathan Taylor. You guys have the power now, right? You guys have a voice. So anyway, that's my critique. That's my breakdown. Jonathan Taylor, the hot hand. That's what's going to happen. Thank you guys. Smash the thumbs up. Helps the channel. And we are out. Thank you.